Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give the 313 its first 500-hour service. Shouldn't be a whole lot to it, really. All we got is an engine oil filter, the fuel water separator filter. Takes 3 gallons of oil. I'm gonna put the Shell Rotella T4 in it, and then the drivetrain. Not drivetrain, the final drives, they call for 50 weight oil. Cat doesn't sell them in either gallon or whatever quarts this weight oil, so I had to buy a 5-gallon bucket full of it, and that stuff was like $130, but that's like 3 or 4 changes at least, so it's not that bad, you know, once the first initial buy. So, and actually this filter was free, because if y'all remember that that water separator sensor went bad on that, and I told them I wanted a filter too to go with it, so they gave me a filter, and I just never put it in because the sensor was what was the problem. So anyway, I'm gonna get that thing crunk up and warmed up a little bit, try to pull it over here in the shade, and it's already miserably hot. I'm probably gonna be pouring sweat by the time I get done, but I've never done this before on that machine, so I may have to just kind of look around on it. I don't think it's gonna be very hard at all. It shouldn't. I just don't know what size sockets to use here and there just yet, but I'm gonna get it figured out. And I haven't figured out how I'm gonna put what I'm gonna put this in. I didn't have a container at the house, so I figure I'll probably just use a cup or an empty water bottle or something to pour it in, and then pour it in a funnel. So let's get this thing warmed up and get it pulled back here and see where everything's at on it. Well, y'all, I knew that today just wasn't gonna probably go to plan. It never does, because got everything together, kept thinking about everything I needed, and of course I ran off and forgot something. I don't have anything to catch the used oil in, and I don't have anything to measure out the oil to go in the final drives, because that, I believe that is not like a fill to a certain point on them. That's probably going to take a certain amount that you got to measure out. Yeah, because they don't have a plug in the center. All it's got is a drain. Never mind, there it is. Stupid me, my bad. All right, all I need is something to catch the used oil in. Guess I'll run to town real quick. All right, I got me a bucket. Luckily I know the folks that own the business right up the road, and I stopped in there and they gave me a bucket. And I think, said this is my first time really messing with this machine. I doubt y'all can see up in there. Yeah, you can. It's got a drain cock on it right there, I believe. So this may be pretty easy. I'm going to check the machine, see if it's still warm. It should be. I don't want to get it just scalding hot, but see if it's still warm, and then I'm going to open that and see if that's the oil. Something's going to come out. Okay, that is the oil. That cockpit was a little bit hard to get started, but once it broke loose, it was pretty easy to turn. So what I'm going to do is come up here on top of the engine. There's also a oil dipstick right there. Here's where you add the oil. I'm going to pop that off. Set that right there. Oh, that way the engine can breathe while the oil runs out. Let's see here. Well, I just stuck it back up too tight. Hold on. What I do is take a little wrench like this and put it on that put it on the handle of that cockpit and break it loose. They even got a little hole right here. You just stick your hand up in there. You don't even have to. There she is. Supposed to hold 3 gallons, I believe. That's what the guys at the Cat parts store told me. That's what I brought, so I hope that's all it holds. I've got the manual I took home last night, and I just didn't have time to really go through it. We go outdoors, just got him a new 313, and he was talking about not being able to see the oil with it still being new on the dipstick. Give it just a little bit and you'll be able to see it. It actually still feels like it's got a lot of viscosity to it. Not real watery, you know, like most oil is with diesels. So still smells fine. Don't smell just really burnt. All right, we're gonna let that drain out, and I'm gonna show you where the filter is. So the filter should be right behind door number 1. It should be right here. Should I may have to put my wrench on that. Spin that off. See what the new filter looks like. So here's the oil filter. It's a cartridge style. It's got a little O-ring right there. I don't see nothing on the top except sure that clips down on there a certain way, so I need to pay attention to how it comes out. But anyway, this is the part number. I'll have to look on the end or the paperwork and see how much this was. And I'll look up to see how much the fuel filter was and kind of give a total about how much this would cost somebody to do. So yeah, let's get this thing spun off there and get the new one installed. What's cool is you got a little thing right there. I really don't want to open that and get oil everywhere, but that's where you can take your oil samplings, which I don't do. It's a little tight. Ow. I know when I cracked that loose, I could hear the oil start to drain better too. Ooh, that thing looks a little rough. Tell you what, I'm gonna let that sit there because this is already filling up with oil. Well, I'm gonna have to take it out. I'm gonna take it out and open that up and catch that right there, because this right here is full of oil. I'd say she was due. That thing is trying to look, see if I see any, you know, anything big in there. Or I'm not sure how the thing comes off right now. Make sure that O-ring is right there. O-ring didn't come out. Let me study this a second. All right, I got me an old cup right here. Let's open this up and drain that out. Y'all can see that draining right there, maybe. Yeah. We'll drain this out. I'm gonna get up there and look down off in there. I'm hoping that right there that oil filter should just pop out of that that cap. I'll pull and pry on it in just a second and I get this drained out. Okay, so this filter is like a twist. Well, this filter is like a twist style. It's got a little, maybe y'all can see in there, it's got a ridge on it that lines up with a ridge right there. Stick it in there and see it'll come right out, but when you take and you twist it, it locks it in. I'm glad I didn't pull on that just real hard. So yeah, y'all just be mindful of that whenever you do change this. So there's the old one, and it does only go on one way, so I don't think you could, I guess you could screw it up. Yeah, because it will go on there. That'll fit in there either way, but it only goes on one way, so y'all pay attention to that. All right, so here's the new one. Yeah. There's the new one. Drop her in there like that, and you know, check all your O-rings and stuff. Make sure all that's good to go. Make sure you don't roll your O-ring whenever you're tightening it down. Just make sure it's in there all the way around. That's kind of common with canister style filters. You don't have to, you know, be Incredible Hulk when you tighten this stuff down. Just snug it up, you know, decent, and don't over tighten stuff. Don't be that guy. So, all right, I'm gonna pour this oil in the bucket, and next we'll do the fuel filter right here. All right, you got a little shut-off valve right here to your main fuel filter. And this right here, all it does is just screws off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this at the bottom, drain the fuel out of it. Guess I need to get my cup real quick. Put my cup down there. You do have a sensor on this that you have to unscrew. Which ain't no big deal. There she goes. All right, I'm gonna drain that out, and let me show you where the sensor is. The sensor is right here, of course, and it's got the plug right there. So I'm gonna unhook it and unscrew this right there. All right, I got it drained down most of the way out. I'll leave a little bit in there, and I'll show you why in just a second. But I've had this off before, a long time ago. So you may have to use a wrench on it the first time, but like I said, don't over tighten stuff whenever you put filters and stuff back on. There's no sense in it. It doesn't have that much pressure. So that comes out of there just like that. There's your sensor, be careful with that. And there's your filter. You can see that's it's time for that one. She's a little dark. Of course, that will only go in one way. All right, let me show you why I leave a little bit of fuel in here. You see all that sediment and stuff at the bottom? Maybe, if I don't pour it everywhere. It's real nasty. So what I do is I try to slosh it around, try to get that stuff out. There's some big chunks of stuff in there. Looks like it's part of the filter. So anyway, try to slosh it around and rinse it out real good. I'll go put some fresh fuel in it and see if I can't wash it out a little bit better. All right, got the new filter. All she does is slide right down up in there. Have to do is open that thing back up. This is a, it's a screw on, or screw, but once you screw it in and out so far, you push and pull it and it opens and closes. But what you need to do is screw it all the way out and then pull down on it. I'll get it to see. Now it's closed actually. Well, I pull it back open, now it's open. So open it up all the way and then your filter will set down in there all the way. You've got an O-ring right here. Slide that baby up in there and make sure it ain't cross-threaded. Run it till she's tight and then just snug it up. Snugging it up by hand is plenty. You don't need to get crazy with it. Again, put your sensor back on, hook it back up. Don't forget to turn your little valve here on for the tank. Don't forget to turn that back on, or otherwise she ain't gonna pump. So that's on. And I know if Cat says do it this way, that's how I'm gonna do it the first time anyway. That way if anything happens, it'll be on them. They say don't pre-fill the filters, which I kind of understand in a way, but if the system is designed for that, then it's fine. Your older style stuff isn't designed for that stuff, so the new stuff is. So I'm gonna put these filters up and let's get back on the oil. All right, let's see how much oil we got. Yeah. I'd say that's about 3 gallons. That's a little less. So, oh, it's about face planting. Got oil all over the camera. It's terrific. I'm gonna reach up in here and close this. Don't forget to close that, or you'll be pouring new oil out on the ground. I tell you what, that's nice though. So far, you don't even need any wrenches to do this. All right, let's go up top and start pouring oil in it. All right. Tell y'all what, the hardest thing about this job so far has been filming it and just it being so daggum hot. It is just stupid right now. I'm gonna put 2 gallon in it, check it, see where we're at. Put about another ½ gallon in it, check it, see where we're at. Because that didn't look like 3 gallon that come out of it. I'd rather not overfill it. I guess a little too much is better than a little too little. Somebody be arguing in the comments. No. You idiot. I've been doing this for 47 years. I'm just kidding, y'all. I appreciate y'all's input. All right, I put 2 gallon in it and wasn't nothing showing yet on the stick, so I'm gonna put another ½ gallon in it or so. I'm pretty sure it's gonna take all 3, but for the first time, we're gonna find out just for sure. All right, so it was showing halfway on the stick that time. I'm gonna pour a little bit in it. See what that does. And I'm sure once I start it up and let it run, let that filter fill up, the rest of it will go there. So, all right, the oil looks good. Everything is buttoned up on. Make sure that's closed so you ain't got fuel spilling everywhere. I'm gonna turn the key on, let that purge a little bit, make sure it's full of fuel, and then let's fire it up and see what happens. All right, I've got it up to temp. I'm gonna shut it back down, let it sit for a minute, and then check the level. I can't find where it shows the oil pressure anywhere. I found everything but that, so I'm not sure if it even shows the oil pressure. I found the oil temperature, which, I mean, you can see it right there, but an actual number. But I'm gonna shut it down in just a second and let it sit for a little bit, let all the oil drain to the bottom, and check the level and see where we're at. All right, we're gonna do the final drives now. I'm just gonna do one side because they'll both be the same. But this is fairly easy too. The hardest part is just catching the oil that comes out and putting it in something. But you've got a drain plug and a fill plug. Basically, you get it 90 degrees or whatever, how you want to look at it. Take this one out. I always take the fill out first because it's usually got a little bit of pressure, and you take the bottom out, it'll just blow out sometimes. So I always take the fill out first, and you're going to get a little bit probably come out. But then when you fill it back up, you just put your drain back in and you fill it through that port until it starts kind of oil oozing out of there. So let me get these pulled out, and I gotta find something to catch it in. I think I can just what I'm probably gonna do is take that old used oil and pour it in these empty things right here, and I'll use that bucket right there to catch it. All right, I got me a bucket, and I already broke that one loose. She was bad tight, way too tight. I'll pull this one out, and be careful. You shouldn't have a whole lot. I could hear it. Had a little bit of pressure behind it, but not much. If you've been running this thing a little bit and it's warm, it will have a lot of pressure behind that. So be careful when you pull your plugs out that they don't go shooting across the ground and get dirt and stuff all over them. So I'm gonna break this bottom one loose real quick and see what she looks like. Okay, y'all can see that right there. It looks like it's actually still fairly clean. It's actually very clean considering 500 hours as hard as I've worked this thing. So that actually looks really good. And I'm using 50 weight oil because it gets hot as hell down here. It's like right now it is just miserable out here. So 50 weight's good for like 122 degrees, something like that. I think that's what I just read. So if you live further up north or not that hot, you don't need 50 weight. Just check the temp. I don't guess it could really hurt, but then again, when it don't get very cold down here, so I can run that that type oil in my stuff. So I'm going to let this drain, put my plug back in on the bottom, and then we'll fill her back up. Okay, I got me a clean cup here. That's all I had to put this oil in. Got a small funnel. This may take several times because it held probably 4 or 5 of these cups, it looks like. I'll just sit here and I'll fill this thing up until it starts running out of the hole right there, and then I'll know she's full. And that's all there is to that. Whew, Lord, it's hot. Stick that right there for right now. All right, see, she's starting to run out right there. So I'm gonna grab my plug and plug her up, and that'll be done with that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for that one. The only tools I really needed was a screwdriver to clean the dirt out of the plugs for the final drives, a 3/8 hex head, Allen key, whatever you want to call it, a couple funnels, a sonic cup, a bucket to catch the used oil in, and a filter strap. That's the only tools you need to do this job. I'm going to take the filter out real quick, blow it out with a leaf blower. It should be fine, and I'll get the numbers real quick and say how much this stuff costs to do. But that's going to be it for the 500-hour service on the next gen Cat 313. All right, so I said I would put on paper kind of, I guess, how much to expect doing this yourself. I'm gonna do it two different ways. I bought my engine oil from Sam's. I got 6 gallon, I think. Basically 2 oil changes for my truck, but I put the same oil in the excavator. At the time, I didn't know that you could put a 1540 in that 313, so that's what I used. I already had it. It's about $80 for 6 gallon at Sam's, I think. It used to be less than that, but when I got it the other day, it was about $80. So just say $40 for the oil, 3 gallon. The oil filter itself from Caterpillar was $28.71. The Cat Trans Drive Train oil, the 50 weight oil I put in the final drives, of 5 gallons of that is $103. And I looked these other things up on the Cat's part store. So the fuel filter is $40. That wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be more than that, but if you went ahead and changed the air filter, that's $98. That little filter is a little bit salty. So I broke it down on what I changed. I changed the oil filter, I changed the final drive, and the fuel filter. So I kind of broke the final drive oil down. I'm gonna say you're going to get at least 5 oil changes out of 5 gallon bucket in those final drives. It could be more than that. So if you divide 103 by 5, I think I did that right. Yeah, that's about $20. $21 per change. So with the oil filter, for one change on your final drive, your fuel filter, not the air filter, you're looking at about $130. That's not that bad at all. And that's all. That's everything I did. It's about $130 by the time you break it down. If you change the air filter, which I don't think you need to, unless it's either tore up or you're getting dirt on the inner filter. I didn't even price the inner filter, so I forgot about that one. You're looking at about $227 to change all them. That's going to be way cheaper than the stuff that Cat tries to sell you, as far as when you sign a contract with them or whatever to come out and do your oil and filter changes. They say it's free. It's not free. They add that stuff in on the cost of the machine, and it is ungodly what they charge. My Cat salesman told me the other day that, because I couldn't remember if he put that in my deal or not, and he said, no, I took that out because that thing's like $16,000 or something. Or it might have been $6,000. Either way, it was a stupid amount. And I said, man, there ain't no way that I'm going to pay somebody that kind of money to come out and change my oil and my filters when it's that easy to do. you got all your ducks in a row and you're not trying to film or whatever like I was doing, I'm gonna say you can do that very easily within 30-45 minutes at the most. It probably won't take that long if you've got everything in order and you've done it once. Kind of get everything ready. Wasn't that bad at all. There's no way I'm gonna pay somebody to come out there and do that for me. And if you got any type of mechanical sense, I feel like most of you, that if you're running your own equipment and stuff like that, like I do every day, or you know, you're making a living at it, I think you've got plenty enough sense to change your own oil and filters. The only thing I think people need something like that is if you got a huge fleet and you don't have the manpower to do it. That's the only way I could see doing that contract. So don't let some salesman sell you on that. Oh yeah, well, I'll get you free oil and filters and at no charge. And yeah, you're getting charged for it. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. It's very simple. Like I said, the worst part about that job was me trying to film everything and it being so daggum hot. I mean, it's been miserable here lately. It's either raining or it is hot as Satan's you know what. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all keep your eyes open. I'll see you later.